This session, we're going to go over a margin matrix. And what we're going to do is we're going to primarily stick with the initial setup of a margin matrix. So for my home ribbon, I'm going to go to Setup. And if I look down my setup here, I'm going to see what we call margin matrix and margin matrix rules. So in this system here, this is going to be a standard setup that you're going to see in a template whenever you start with your program. Now this can all be modified as needed, changed, added to, removed, whatever you want to do. But let's just kind of talk about how a basic setup is first. We will have a separate session on how to create new matrices and how to set up rules. One thing you want to be aware of here is the fact that a margin matrix has nothing to do with inventory. I'll repeat that. Has absolutely nothing to do with inventory. This is for when I'm sourcing parts from an outside source. Now this can also include sublets. So let's take a look at how these are set up. So in a standard setup, batteries, for example, we create a matrix. And basically what we're doing is just giving it a name, telling it where it's applied to, and it's set up on a 0 to infinity at a 30% margin. So when we created this, we just came in and hit add and set it up at a 30% margin. That's all we did. Tires, we have set on a standard setup here from 0 to 35, $50 on 35, 80 on 30. So what we've done here is we've come in and added various lines or steps in here to break down the gross profit margin depending on the cost. Now this is called a linear, and you can also do what we call a standard. So this is kind of a stair stepper. Think of it that way. It's a definite change instead of a sliding scale. You can use either way, but in their setup, it's going to be set up as a linear to start with. On a sublet, pretty straightforward, just a 22% gross profit margin across the board, no matter what it is, just like a battery. General will be all the other parts that you source on a work order that don't fall into any of these specific categories, such as batteries, sublet, or tires. So if I open this up, again, this is to pick up everything else. This is going to come in as a linear. Again, if you prefer a standard, you do that. And we'll hit OK. So each one of these matrices have to have a rule in order for it to work. So let's go look at our rules. So if we go look at batteries, you'll see here that matrix for batteries, it applies to materials. It is not a sublet, it's a material item. And we utilize a tag. So a tag, think of it as a sticky note that we apply to a particular line item. And I'll show you where that is as we go. Tires uses a tag also. Applies to materials, and we tag the particular material line for tires. Sublet would be any sublet line that we utilize on a work order. Doesn't matter if it comes from the package, from the category, or if you're just adding a sublet line to any package that is on a work order. And then general, again, this is a general. You see how it's just all materials. It's not specific to anything. You'll notice too that we have a specific order here. Order. So remember, whenever you're dealing with rules in here, it always works from the top down. If I were to take this rule and slide it to the top, what that means is every single material line I put on a work order is going to use this rule and apply that matrix. It'll bypass this and this. Will not bypass sublet because that's a totally different line. So I need to make sure that the more general it is, the further to the bottom it goes. Once I do that, I save it and it keeps the order. So what is a tag? We create tags in here. And let's go look at one here from material line. So these are just various tags that have been created. Here we have one called battery matrix, and we have one called tire matrix. We just simply came in and hit add and created a tag. Once we have that tag and we apply it to that rule, then what we can do is use it on any specific line. So if I come over to my service packages, and if I go down to batteries, for example, open my battery package up, take a look at the line, so the line itself, our tags, then you'll see that it is applied. Now how they get applied is real simple. You just open the line, hit the little green box, and then you can pick and choose which tag or tags you want to put on a line. If you want to remove a tag, you just simply click it, hit the black X, and I'll remove the tag. So let's go to a work order and see how this works. Here I have a work order going, and I have various jobs on here. So here I have mount, install, and balance one tire, and I have a line for the tire. Now this line has been tagged. Let's take a look at this line. So we're going to open it up. See, and there's my tag, my tire matrix tag. So what that simply means is, anytime I go look up a tire and bring it back from an outside source, it'll look at whatever the cost is, and it's going to set the selling price based off of the matrix for the tires. So for example, if I go out to a catalog, let's go look for a tire. Here we have a tire with a cost of $203. Check the box, bring it back, we apply it. There's my margin. So it's going to be based off of the way the matrix is set up. I hit OK, and now I have it set. Easy to tell if you're within a certain range, because you're going to see that it is going to come in with the blue flag. And the blue flag actually has to do with your thresholds. See, there's your desired margin right there. If we take a sublet, for example, let's say we're going to sublet something. Now here, all we got to do is just put in a cost. So say we're going to do something that's going to cost us $100. Hit tab on the keyboard, automatically sets the margin. It doesn't matter if it's $100 or if it's $1,000. It's going to set it at the margin. And same thing goes with batteries. So if I go look for a battery, let's go see if we can find something. Check the box, apply, bring that back. Now, when I open this line, there's my margin. Easy to tell if it's not working. So here I have an air filter. Again, that's not a battery, not a tire, and not a sublet. So if I go look for this air filter, I can look it up in the catalog, or I can just enter a cost. So if I select this air filter here, there's my cost of $18.12. Hit apply. See, now it automatically sets the selling price based off of the matrix. What if my costs were to change? See, now it starts to change here. Simple as that. Here I have a job for 2 tires. Let's go take a look at this line. If I go look at the tags, see, I don't see a tire matrix tag here. So let's go see what happens. So I'm going to go to catalog. And again, I don't even have to go to my catalog. I can just open the line and put a cost in. So if I say I have a cost of $100 for a tire, and I hit tab on my keyboard, look at what it's going to use for a matrix. See, now it's using the general, simply because I don't have the tag on the line. Now, once I do this, if I want to add the tag, I certainly can. I can open it, go to tags, hit the little green box. Let's go find our tire matrix. And we're going to hit OK. Now we're going to have to open it back up. And I'm going to hit tab again. And then it should, once I click here, you see there's my desire margin. Click it. I clicked on the flag. Hit yes. Now it goes back to the tire matrix. Now we're set. So that's how a basic setup works. Again, you can always override whatever it is. But that's going to come as a standard setup in any template that we do.